Oh, this is the day. Mignon is ready for cooking day. So this will be a fun day too. So my sous chef is not here today. That's okay. It's early in the day, so it's just me. But today is one of those fun days because it's duck confit cassoulet day. I make it maybe twice a year, definitely once a year. And thankfully today in Houston, it was 37 degrees, 38, 35, something like that. So it's cold. It'll be nice and chilly tonight. So duck confit cassoulet. It's a wonderful French dish. I never had it in New Orleans. I didn't have it till I really came to Houston, or when I went to Europe all the time. So when I was in Europe, I always had it there. And I've been going to Europe for over 20 years, but never had it in New Orleans. When it comes to the duck itself, I usually get the duck confit already done, like the duck. It comes in cans, or it's done for me, but there's not been any available for the past 2 years in the US. It comes out of Canada in these big cans, and it's full of duck fat. Oh, it's fabulous. But you can't find them. So I had to do it from scratch. And if you look at one of my old videos, I showed how I did duck confit from scratch. Not cassoulet, but the duck confit. So did that, its own process, not gonna get into it. So did that, that's done. And I'm gonna show you the results of that. But for the cassoulet part, the cassoulet, there's a lot of different ingredients that go into it. I basically call it a bean stew. That's what it is. It's a bean stew. It's what you'd call it in New Orleans, a bean stew. Let's show you how we do this, huh? Come on, let's take a look at the ingredients. For the basics, you have your cassoulet beans, and you use the Tarbiz beans, if you can get them. The problem here in Houston is there are some things that are complicated to get, like you're not going to Central Market or H-E-B or Kroger or one of the grocery stores and picking anything up. You're not. So I had to order these. So Tarbiz beans, and like most beans, you soak them overnight. They're a little bitter, so you know, kind of thing. And for your ingredients, so that's the beans. These beans soaked overnight, and this is what's there. Of course, we got duck fat for the main dish. We've got onions, we got carrots, tomatoes, paste, peppercorns, cloves, more duck fat, thyme and basil leaf, and a lot of garlic. Always good. And we've got some either sherry red wine vinegar or just red wine vinegar. Get a good one, a dark one. And of course, we have chicken stock, homemade chicken stock. If you don't want to go through the process of making homemade chicken stock, just get something that's dark, a dark stock. And we've got ham. So ham is also something that's a little bit tough. The original dish, or the dishes that you look at online, they have a seasoned ham. And what I mean by a seasoned ham, it's not the same as a seasoned ham in Louisiana or Texas, which is a salty ham. It's like an aged ham. It's not a prosciutto, but it's like halfway. You don't really find that here in Houston, unfortunately. So what I get, which is a close proximity, are smoked ham hocks. So I got smoked ham hocks. These were deboned, and these were boned, and I made these myself because I wasn't sure if I was gonna have enough. It worked out. Some pork rind, which is very good, and then Toulouse sausage. Once again, Toulouse sausage is very hard to get here in Houston. I don't even see it in New Orleans when I go home. So I had this was made in New York, and I got it here from one of the distributors, DR Delicacy. They get it for me, which is nice. They also get whole foie gras loaves, which is nice, so we can make torchon. Perfect. And then of course we've got pork ribs roast combination, so that's what that is. But for the bean portion, it's just this. It's just right here in this section, just here. This goes in the oven and roast. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's do this real quick. What do you say? Come on over here. So light seasoning, nothing crazy. Don't want to oversalt anything. For the pepper, just crack it as you want. You don't need a whole lot. Garlic, put it in. I'm gonna use plenty of garlic. And of course, where is it? There it is, my duck fat. You want to use some duck fat. Yes, this is all homemade duck fat that I did when I did the duck confit. So there we go, that's all we need. 425, like this, uncovered in the oven, 15 to 20 minutes. Oven is already preheated. All right, good. Now this is the fun part. So this is the bean part. The beans need to cook for about 2 hours on medium high. So I can either use the what are these things called? I'm forgetting the name of them. The ham hocks. These were not boneless. These were bone in. I braised and seared them myself and then took all the rinds and stuff off. I could use these, or I could use the boneless smoked ham hocks. Either way is good, but this has to go in. That's the fat. Yeah, because I made it myself. Yeah, there we go. Where's my other stuff? I've got tons of stuff here. Carrots. The beans. Ah, yes, the beans. In they go. The chicken stock. And there's some of the rinds from last night, so that's good. Vinegar. It's a nice dark vinegar. Love that. Lots of garlic. Thyme and bay leaf. Want the thyme and bay leaf. Very nice. More duck fat. Get it. Oh, come on. I'm not gonna lick that, but lots of duck fat. Onions. Onions. Easy. Tomatoes. I need to chop real quick, because I forgot to chop them. 2. Some tomato paste. Get out. And then I got herbs. So I got cloves and peppercorns. Let's see. There it is. I got it. I knew I had it. It's a little infuser. You can get small ones, but I couldn't find a small one. So what you do is just take this and dump them in there. It smells nice. I'm just gonna put on the side here. Watch. Right there on this, where I want to put it. Oh, right, get down there. And now what do we need? We need some water. Where's my temperature? There you go. Medium high. Don't burn me, don't burn me. Okay, good. Good. Perfect. Got everything in here. Medium high. Cover. Stir occasionally over the next couple hours, like every 20-30 minutes. Just give it a little stir, totally fine. You want to stir this now first so it's kind of mixed up. That's fine, just give it a good little blend. It's going to work out very well. Oh yeah. And this is just the bean component. The meat's in the oven already, doing its own thing. This is going to take a few hours. And generally you do the meat right before this is done. So cover. You're done. All right. Here. So, as I said, I made duck confit the other day. And this is what duck confit looks like, whether you buy it or make it yourself. This is 2 whole ducks, and I had some extra from some time ago. The cassoulet. We've let it do its own thing for 2 to 3 hours. And we need to clean it off. We need to skim off all the fat and the residual. So I don't want to touch it yet, but we're going to take everything off. So come on, let's just get all this fat out of here, because it's not going into the bean dish. A little bit will, but not much. And be aggressive on your scooping. You're not going to lose anything, I promise. You want to take out the aromatics. So you want to take out the onions and the carrots. That's a process. You want to get all the onions out, and I put one whole onion in here. You want to take out the bay leaf. Don't want to leave that behind. Here, it's over there. We're going to reuse the pork on there, so we're not throwing that out. Like, we're not going to get rid of that. The only thing you want in the bean component to put into the pot are the tomatoes that have stewed down and the beans. You don't want anything else. You don't want the thyme, you don't want the bay leaf. The garlic, it's fine. It's probably mashed down anyway. No big deal. You're going to remove the ham from here, but it's going to go into the cassoulet pot. All right, so now what we're going to do is pull out the remainder of it. We can skim the rest of the fat off as much as we can. Not where I want it to be yet. I want it to be a little more brown. So we will continue to cook this. The bean component is done. All we're waiting on is the meat. That's the important part. Let's take a look, huh? Looks good. That's what we wanted. Now I think if you got Toulouse sausage in France, in Toulouse, it would be darker. Not darker. It's lighter here. Always got to thank my friends, Degree Woodworks. Thanks, guys. Margaret, Glenn, always. Y'all always make the best cutting boards and furniture. I'm going to put this back in the oven for a little bit. Layering is muy importante. It's very important. So we're just going to do half of these, like half. And you can cut these a little smaller if you want, but I think this is a good size. Just cut these in half. Remember, Toulouse sausage, you have to order it or have it custom made. And some of these dishes are wider, totally fine. I had this one made for me. Came out of France. I was quite happy to get it. Some of the ham, seasoned ham. I'm gonna drop it in. Take these juices and put them back in. And what we want to do is take this and just break it up because it's already so soft and tender. Just gonna put it in. Some of that fat off. Gonna break it up, put it in. And don't forget, we got the pork in the oven. Pork ribs. Ooh, that looks good. Breaking it up nice. And if you want to put this in there, it's okay. It's the fat component. It's going to break up easily when you're eating it. One, two, three, and move. And we're moving. We got a skimmer here. What you want to do is put the beans in here. Just like this. Layer it up. And this was 2 pounds of beans, guys, so it's a lot. And remember, the duck will eventually go on here at the end. 2 pounds of beans into this thing, half of it's meat too, remember that. But what you want is this juice in here. So, here we are. I'm gonna take a photo. Sorry, I gotta do a photo op. People, what are you making? Cassoulet. There we go. And you wanna spoon in all the juice and fill it to the top. You wanna see it flush. And this is what's key. You're gonna put this in the oven for an hour and a half to 2 hours, or until this top gets a crispy, it looks burnt, but it's not burnt. I promise you it's not. You'll see. You basically dry the beans out on the top. That's what you're doing. There we go. And if you want to give it a little jiggle, just a little jiggle, make sure it's getting to the bottom. I will have plenty enough liquid, which is very good. Nice. Okay, guys. This is it. Oh, this is where you want to be at this level, because now it's just oven time. 1.5 to 2 hours. And you're going to see it's going to get a nice crust on it. And you're going to come back in. You're going to come back in once it hardens, and you're going to crack it and add some more fluid. You can do it up to this is once. You can do it 2 more times. After this cooks, 1.5 to 2 hours, pull it out, add some more stuff, and crack it. But we're good. We're going to see how this goes. In the oven. So that's what it should look like, nice and crispy on top. And if you tap it, nice and crispy. It's exact. You think it's burned. It's not. This is exactly how it's supposed to look. And what you do, this is the gravy left over from the beans. Yep. Nice and crispy. I'm going to load it up. All right, back in the oven. And this is basically done. Another 30 minutes, this is finished. And this was the big one. I didn't pull this tray out. Oh, I'm so bummed about it. It all went down. It all spilled over, but that's okay. Let's pull this out. I had to add some more juice to it. This is probably the last time, so it's good. Nice tappy. That's exactly how it's supposed, well, the black in there. It's supposed to exactly how it's supposed to look. You want that. That's exactly how you want it to be. All right. So here's the duck confit that I made. We're gonna load this up. Do it like that. There you go, guys. I'm gonna wash my hand real quick. Just look at that and enjoy it. So the cassoulet itself is done. It's finished. I repeated the process 3 times, about every 30-40 minutes. Pulled it out, dumped on more juice. Still have plenty of gravy for the other one if I need to. But now this is perfect. This is how you want it to be. It's gonna go in the oven for 15 minutes-ish. And it'll be nice and brown, which is good. We'll see how it looks shortly. This is my wine advisor. This is Mr. Nick.
Cheers.
He told me to buy the Sauzet. It was very good stuff. Cheers.
Cheers.
Let's pull it out and take a look, yeah? 1, 2, 3. Oh, there you go, guys. That is duck confit cassoulet. That's what you want. That is the yumminess that comes from duck confit.
Thanks for cooking, Chris. Thank you so much.
We have our moments. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers to duck cassoulet.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Prost.